Hello, my dear students. Good morning. Students, let's start reading the remaining part of this chapter. Okay, so we have to start reading the chapter from this passage. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy. Through this statement, the narrator, Charlie, wants to tell us that he proceeded he proceeded to a newsboy in order to check it out whether he was on the third level at Grand Central Station or not. In order to make it sure, in order to make it sure whether he was standing there on the third level at that time or not, the narrator Charlie walked over to a newsboy. The narrator Charlie stepped towards a newsboy and newspaper vendor, and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. And as soon as he reached very near, that the newsboy, he cast a glance he cast a glance at those old newspapers which were heaped there at his feet. It was the world. Looking at the newspapers, he found that the newspapers were really of the olden days, and it was that the particular newspaper was that the newsboy was selling a particular newspaper, and the name of that newspaper was The World. So when the narrator Charlie read the name of the newspaper The World, he got really so much surprised. And The World hasn't been published for years. He also recollected it on his part that the newspaper The World hadn't been published for years. It had been out of print, for many years. The lead story said something about President Cleveland beta. When he read the main headlines in that newspaper The World, he also came to know that the newspaper had written something about the president of America, Cleveland. He also learnt it on his part that the newspaper had a story written about President Cleveland. I have found that front page since in the public library files. Since stands from right from that day. Since that day, when he came out of that place, so right from that day onwards, he had decided that he would like to check it out whether the newspaper The World was available at some library or not. So he went to some public library and he started searching of the newspaper. So he found the same newspaper there, and it was printed June 11, 1894. When the narrator found that the newspaper The World, among so many other newspapers there at some public library, so he also noticed that the newspaper was lastly printed. The newspaper was printed on 11th June 1894. The date was also mentioned better on that newspaper. So having got it all, the narrator also took some more steps towards the ticket window and some other things also. Since he was being so much attracted by those all things which met his eyes there on the third level at Grand Central Station. I turned toward the ticket. I turned toward the ticket windows. I turned toward the ticket windows. Okay, Charlie could not help moving. Could not help taking himself. Not moving, but I would like to use the word take. Could not help stands for beta. Could not prevent himself. Could not stop himself. Charlie could not help. Okay, himself. Charlie could not help moving himself, taking himself toward the ticket windows. The ticket windows which he noticed there on the at the station of the third level, knowing that here on the third level at Grand Central I could buy tickets. So taking such kind of idea in his mind that he could easily buy the tickets from the ticket windows that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States. Okay, since he wanted to go on some visit to some place there in his country, United States of America. So he thought that he could easily buy tickets from the ticket window, and buying the ticket from the ticket window, he, along with his wife Louisa, okay, would be able to go anywhere in America. We wanted to go wherever they wanted to go. We wanted to go means wherever they wanted to go. Okay, but while proceeding to the ticket windows, Charlie, the narrator, also took such kind of idea in his mind that if he could be able to buy the tickets from the ticket window, so he would surely make his visit to some places wherever he would like to go with his wife. In the year 1894, it was the year of 1894, and he wanted to go. He wanted to go to some place there. Okay, he wanted to go to some place in America. Okay, and I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. Since the name of the place has also been mentioned by the narrator here, he wanted to go. He wanted to go to visit. He wanted to go to. Firstly, he wanted to buy 2 tickets. He wanted to buy 2 tickets, especially to go to Galesburg, Illinois. Okay, and he was really much interested. Okay, going there. That's why he had thought that he must buy 2 tickets. Okay, to pay a visit to Galesburg, Illinois. Have you ever been there? Now the narrator gives us a question, all the readers. Now the narrator gives the question to his all readers, confirming whether they had ever got a chance, okay, to visit the town, Galesburg, Illinois. It's a wonderful town still. Okay, according to the narrator, Galesburg, Illinois, okay, was really in a very wonderful town with big old frame houses. Galesburg, Illinois, is really a very wonderful town. Okay, with big old frame houses. When a person, okay, visits the town, he finds there a number of things. Firstly, he will find big old framed houses there in that special town, in that sightseeing town. It's a wonderful town still. According to, once again I would like to give the explanation better. Okay, according to the narrator, Galesburg, Illinois is really a very wonderful town with big old frame houses. In this town there are okay, old framed houses, big old framed houses. The houses as built in this town are very big in their size, and they also contain the old framed doors, okay, huge lawns. One can also see there so spacious lawns outside the houses in this city, in this town, and tremendous trees. The word tremendous stands for here huge sized, extremely large, okay, alarmingly large, and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. Okay, so while describing the features of this wonderful town, okay, Galesburg, Illinois, he also tells us that there are so many big trees in this town whose branches have grown so long, whose branches have got so long extension that they meet, okay, overhead. They meet overhead means above heads, okay, एंड ओवरहेड मीन्स ऊपर का हिस्सा जो होता है उसमें, उसके लिए दोनों के दोनों एक इधर खड़े हैं. सपोज द ट्रीज आर स्टैंडिंग ऑन इधर साइड ऑफ द रोड्स, सो दोज द ट्रीज ओके लुक in this manner as if they have made, or they have started working, okay, as a big shelter for the passers-by, because the branches of these trees have grown so long that when they meet each other, so they also work as the roof, okay, in the work as the roof on the streets. Our street stands for roads. सड़कों के दोनों तरफ खड़े हुए जो पेड़ हैं वो इतने बड़े बड़े पेड़ हैं, इतने पुराने पेड़ हैं कि उन पेड़ों की टहनियाँ इतनी ज़्यादा बढ़ी हुई हैं कि वो पेड़ अपनी टहनियों को दोनों सड़कों के दोनों हिस्से में, दोनों तरफ खड़े हुए पेड़ जो हैं, जब उनकी टहनियाँ आपस में मिलती है तो वहाँ बिल्कुल ऐसा लगता है जैसे कि छत का निर्माण कर रहे हैं वो पेड़. अक्सर हम देखते हैं जब हम किसी भी सड़क से निकलते हैं, दोनों तरफ जो खड़े हुए पेड़ होते हैं उनकी टहनियाँ आपस में मिल जाती हैं, ऊपर से एक दूसरे के साथ में मिक्सड हो जाती हैं और वो छत का से निर्माण करती नजर आती है. एंड इन 1894 समर इवनिंग्स वर ट्वाइस एज लॉन्ग. ओके, ही ऑल्सो टेल्स अस दैट इन Galesburg, Illinois, one can also see the duration of the evening hours, okay, very long in the summer season, and people set out on their lawns. So during the long hours of the summer evenings, people also come out of their houses and sit themselves down on their lawns. Okay, the men smoking cigars. One can also catch the sight of the people, okay, smoking cigars there and talking quietly. And the people and the residents of this town, Galesburg, Illinois, okay, also pass their time, also entertain their time by talking, okay, very quietly, very silently. The woman waving palm leaf fans. And one more amazing sight can also be seen there in this town, Galesburg, Illinois. The women, okay, the women are also noticed there waving the palm leaf fans. palm leaf means ताड़ के पत्तियों का बना हुआ उनका बीजना जिसको बोलते हैं हवा करने के लिए. So those the women in Galesburg, Illinois, are also found waving palm leaf fans by their hands in order to cool themselves, in order to get the air by fanning fan is a verb, by fanning the palm leaf fans. With the fireflies all around in a peaceful world, in the silent atmosphere during the evening hours, in the late evening hours, when darkness has already descended, and in that darkness of the night hours, one can also catch the sight of the fireflies. Fireflies is the name of a small winged insects, okay, whose wing whose wings illuminate in the night hours. Okay, brighten, illuminate in the night hours. It's the natural light. This the natural light is given to these all insects. इस प्रकार की कुछ एक जुगनू कहते हैं इनको, फायर फ्लाइज को क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में, जुगनू। जुगनू छोटे छोटे कीट पतंगों की तरह से होते हैं और वे उड़ते रहते हैं और उनकी पंखुड़ियाँ जो है ना बड़ी चमकती हैं। इल्यूमिनेशन के साथ में इनकी पंखुड़ियाँ बहुत ज़्यादा इल्यूमिनेशन के साथ में, चमक के साथ में चमकती रहती हैं। ओके, टू बी बैक देयर विद द फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर स्टिल 20 years ऑफ एंड वर्ल्ड वॉर second over 40 years in the future. So he wanted to, since through this statement he wants to tell us that he had really gone back. He had really gone back. Okay, he had really gone back envisaging means keeping the site of the first world war 20 years back, and he had also envisaged, okay, 40 years in future, okay, about the second world war. So sometimes he had gone 20 years back, and at some other moment he had also gone 40 years in future. To be back there with the first world war still 20 years off. अभी कहता है कि यदि मैं पीछे के बीते हुए समय की बात करूं तो अभी 20 वर्ष फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर को हुए हैं, और कहता है कि आगे भविष्य की बात करूं तो सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर को 40 वर्ष बाद में, ओवर 40 years इन द फ्यूचर, भविष्य में 40 वर्षों के बाद सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बारे में बात करूं मैं। आई वॉन्टेड 2 tickets फॉर दैट. ही वॉन्टेड 2 tickets. Okay, he wanted 2 tickets. He wanted 2 tickets for his journey to Galesburg, Illinois. Charlie the narrator wanted to buy only 2 tickets from that railway station's ticket window, so that he could be able to make his journey, okay, with his wife Louisa to Galesburg, Illinois. The clerk figured the fare. He glanced at my headband, but he figured the fare. So when Charlie the narrator, okay, went very near to that ticket window, and he asked the clerk sitting in that ticket booth, okay, to give him 2 tickets. So the clerk calculated the fare first. He calculated the fare first, how much amount should he charge from the person who had asked for 2 tickets. Then all of a sudden that the clerk, okay, sitting in that ticket window, okay, also put a glance at the fancy band, at that highly attractive band that was tied all around, okay, over the upper side of his hat, that was tied all around at the upper side of his hat, जो उसके टॉप के बिल्कुल ऊपर के हिस्से में जो फीता बंधा हुआ था ना सुंदर सा, उस फीते की तरफ उस क्लर्क ने देखा. बट ही फिगर्ड द फेयर, बट अगेन द सेम क्लर्क, अगेन दैट द क्लर्क, ओके, but again that the clerk started calculating the fare, and I had enough for 2 coach tickets one way. Okay, when the clerk asked him for money, so the narrator concluded that he could surely pay him money, especially for, okay, one way journey in order to go to Galesburg, Illinois, and he thought that he had enough money to buy 2 tickets, especially 2 coach tickets, sleeper tickets. 2 coach tickets mean 2 sleeper tickets. He wanted to get 2 sleeper tickets, and he thought that he had enough money in his pocket to buy both the tickets. But when I counted out the money, but when he took out the money and counted it, okay, before uh, giving it to the clerk and looked up, and when the narrator looked up, okay, looked up in order to see, in order to see it whether the clerk was ready to collect his money from him and give him the ticket or not. So at the same time the clerk was staring at me. He noticed that oh, again I would like to explain it. But when I counted out the money and looked up, at, but when the narrator counted his money, firstly he took out his money from his pocket, then he started counting it. So when he was counting the money, he also looked up at the clerk, who was also staring at him. He was also staring at him quite secretly. So when he noticed that the clerk was staring at me, looking at somebody, looking at something with fixed eyes. So he noticed that the clerk was looking at him as if he had made some mistake. He nodded at the bills. Bills stands for better currency notes, dollars. So when the clerk caught the sight of the dollars which had been taken out by Charlie the narrator from his pocket and had also been counted by him, so he nodded his head. He nodded his head, looking at the bills, and he told him, by nodding his head, he told him that he could not be able to buy the tickets, by paying those the currency notes, dollars. That ain't money, mister. The word ain't stands for beta isn't. The word ain't stands for isn't. That ain't money, mister, he said. And the word ain't is also used for not, isn't, but am not, are not, has not, have not, etc. But it is the old fashioned term and it is generally used in such kind of cases. That isn't money, that ain't money, mister, he said. The clerk told the narrator, the clerk told Charlie that the money which he was going to pay him to buy 2 tickets, could not be accepted by him. He did not declare it the correct currency. He did not declare it the tenderable currency, the currency that could be tendered. No, he could not. He did not declare it the legal currency. And if you are trying to skin me, the word skin stands for dupe. D-U-P, dupe. The word dupe means cheat someone in broad daylight. And if you are trying to skin me, you won't get very far. The clerk also warned Charlie, saying that if he wanted to dupe him in broad daylight by giving such kind of currency notes, he would not escape from there, and he would be caught by the police very soon, as he could inform the police immediately, and the police would surely caught him. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. He glanced at the cash drawer beside him. So the clerk, having spoken such frightening words, the clerk again, cast a glance, started looking at the cash drawer that was, beside him, that was by the side of him. Of course, the money was old style bills, half again as big as the money we use nowadays. When Charlie caught the sight of the size of the dollars as picked up by the clerk and displayed, keeping them in his hands before the narrator, so he thought that those the dollars were of old fashioned those the dollars currency notes looked totally old fashioned, and the size of the dollar was also just half compared to the dollars, compared to the currency notes which were being used by the people in modern time, and different looking. And you also notice that they also look totally different. Okay, I turned away and got out first, being so much frightened. Better, being so much frightened, the narrator left that place and started coming out of that place very fastly, and started running out or coming out of that place very fastly. There is nothing nice about jail even in 1894. So this statement he wants to tell us that in the year of 1894 the overall condition of the prison cells was also not so good, and he did not want to take such kind of risk. He did not want to see himself behind the bars there in the prison cell, since he knew it very well. If he took some step there, he would be caught by the police and put into the jail, and he did not want to go to jail anyhow. And that was that. I left the same way I came, and that was that stands prayer, and that was the incident which he had practically experienced in his life there. And that incident, he did not know why it should have happened with him. He still did not know why it should have happened with him. Happened to him. Why it should have happened to him. And that was the incident, that was the only and only one incident on the third level which had made really so much bewildered and confused. He had never expected so that he would ever be frightened by some clerk there on the third level for paying the new currency notes. I left the same way I came. I left the same way I came means the narrator came out of that place through the same way which he had used while going there. He expected so that he had used the same way, okay, during his return journey as he had used it during his, okay, first journey, during his visit to that place. Next day, during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had. Charlie, the narrator, had only $300 in his account at some bank, and on the very next day, during the lunch break, okay, he went to the bank and took out the money from there, withdrew the money from there, and bought all style currency. That really worried my psychiatric friend. Means when Charlie told his psychiatric friend that he had really taken such kind of big risk, okay, by exchanging his new currency dollars with the old currency notes. So his friend also got badly worried, and he had bought really old style currency notes. Okay, facing a big loss of some dollars. It was not simple for him that he could get the old currency notes, giving the new currency notes only. No. Okay, you can buy old money at almost any coin dealers. In those days, or in nowadays also, one can go to a coin dealer shop and also get the money exchanged very easily. So through this statement, the narrator tells us that one could easily buy old money at almost any coin dealer shop, but you have to pay premium after giving some extra charges. Premium stands for extra charges, profit, that the coin dealer would take some profit from you, and he would give you the old fashioned currency notes, and he would take the new currency from you. My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills. Bills stand for dollars, notes. When Charlie got his new currency notes exchanged with the old style bills, old style notes, so he had to pay. He had to pay around 110 or $20 as premium to that coin dealer. Okay, but I didn't care. But since he was really so much excited, okay, why so much excited to go to or to pay his visit to, okay, Galesburg, Illinois, so he did not care for that the biggest loss also in those days. Eggs were eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. Through this statement, the narrator wants to tell us that in those days each and everything was much costlier compared to the present day time. The value of the currency was really very high in the year of 1894. The value of the currency notes was really very high okay, compared to the notes of the present day time. That's why he had taken really a very big risk, and he had really suffered a very big loss of $120 after exchanging, okay, the while exchanging the new currency notes with the old currency bills. But I have never again found the corridor. Charlie the narrator had really got the old currency notes. Now he was fully satisfied. He wanted to go back to that ticket window, since he wanted to buy 2 tickets for Galesburg, Illinois. But when he paid his another visit, okay, to Grand Central Station, and when he wanted to go there on the third level at the station, he did not find the corridor there. Okay, he could not find the same corridor, the same tunnel which he had used during his previous journey to that place that leads to the third level at Grand Central Station, although I have tried often enough. Though Charlie the narrator had tried his best to locate, to find out the tunnel, to find out the corridor leading to the third level at Grand Central Station, but he remained totally unsuccessful. He remained totally failure in getting the passage, in getting the, okay, tunnel or the corridor which could take him to the third level at Grand Central Station. No, he could not go there. So it was only the part of his fascination. It was only the part of his fascination, and he had really expected so that he had once gone there. He had once gone there, but he had not. Actually, he had not gone there. It was the part of his imagination. That's why he could not find out the same way which he had already got in his imagination. Now he remained totally unsuccessful in his all efforts. Louisa was pretty worried when I told her all this. When Charlie told each and everything about when Charlie told each and everything about his such kinds of experiences to his wife Louisa, so the lady got really so much worried, badly worried. Pretty means badly worried. She could hardly believe it that her husband could take such kind of decision in his life, and didn't want me to look for the third level anymore. And she also told her husband very strictly that she did not want him to look for the third level at Grand Central Station any longer. And after a while I stopped. But after a while or so, when he had made his all efforts and when he could not find out the way to go to the third level, he stopped going there. I went back to my stamps. Again he started his old business of collecting the stamps, and again he found himself fully involved in the hobby of collecting the stamps. But now we are both looking, okay, though the narrator had really given up the idea of going to the third level at Grand Central Station, but again he mentions it there through the statement that he along with his wife, they both again start looking for the same place every weekend. They go there, on the last 2 days of the week in order to search of the same place, because now we have proof that the third level is still there, because now they have got some evidence, some concrete proof, and which okay which justifies it which justifies it that the third level has its existence there at Grand Center Station. But I tell you in advance, through these two statements, Charlie the narrator tells us that once he had left going there, but again he and his wife, they both start looking for the same place, because they have got some proof, and the proof has been given to them by his friend Sam Wiener. My friend Sam Wiener disappeared. All of a sudden, he came to know that his fast friend, intimate friend Sam Wiener had already disappeared. Nobody knew where. Nobody had any idea of his disappeared, missing friend Sam. But I sort of suspected, because Sam is a city boy. But Charlie got fully suspected, thinking that his friend Sam was a city boy and he could have gone to Galesburg, Illinois. And I used to tell him about Galesburg, Illinois, and he simply used to tell him about that the town Galesburg, Illinois. I went to school there. While telling something about that the town Galesburg, Illinois, the narrator had also told his friend Sam that he used to go to school there in the days of his early childhood, and he always said he liked the sound of the place. And he had also told him repeatedly that he had really liked the place so much and he should also visit it. It was really very interesting and sightseeing town, and that's where he is all right. At that time, again, the narrator suspected it that his friend Sam might have gone to Galesburg, Illinois, and to live there, because he had already liked it, and it all had happened in the year of 1894. His friend Sam had also gone there. According to the assumption of the narrator, his friend Sam must have gone to Galesburg, Illinois, being attracted by all those things which the narrator had already described before him at the previous occasions. Because one night, fussing means getting badly confused. Fussing stands for here, with growing tension, worries, when something is lost and we start searching for it and we don't get it, so we start fussing. Fussing means we start getting confused. Because one night, fussing with my stamp collection, on some day during the night hours, the author really got so much confused while searching for something in his stamp collection. I found, well, do you know what a first day cover is? I found. Now after found, you can see here a hyphen beta. So now after find, some statement has been omitted here, and the same statement will meet us in the next portion, in the next part, or I mean to say in the last part of this chapter. Because one night, fussing with my stamp collection, I found. On some day during the night hours, Charlie the narrator was badly confused when he was searching for something in the collection of his stamps. And all of a sudden he found something. And the thing which he found there in the collection of his stamps really made him badly surprised and stunned. Now he changes his subject, and he wants to tell us something about the definition of the first day cover. Well, do you know what a first day cover is? So now the narrator asks his readers whether they have any idea regarding the definition of the first day cover, whether we know something about a first day cover or not. He wants to know from our side whether we know what a festival, what a fest day cover is, or we don't know. So he gives the definition. Now he gives the definition. He thinks that if we all the readers do not know what a fast day cover, what a fast day cover is, so the narrator, okay, decides to give us the definition. When a new stamp is issued, when a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some. Beta, whenever a new stamp is issued, okay, whenever a new stamp is issued at some post office, किसी भी डाकघर के ऊपर जब कोई नई टिकट जारी की जाती है, स्टैम्प कलेक्टर्स बाई सम. So the stamp collectors, okay, who have okay cultivated the habit of collecting the stamps in their lives. So those the stamp collectors buy some stamps there from that post office. Okay, from that post office. वही स्टैम्प कलेक्टर्स जो हैं वो टिकट संग्रहण करने वाले लोग हैं, कुछ टिकटें खरीद लेते हैं एंड यूज देम. एंड दोज द स्टैम्प कलेक्टर्स ऑल्सो यूज द सेम स्टैम्प्स as freshly released by some post office. They use the same stamps to mail envelopes, to post envelopes to themselves, to their self addresses. Themselves stands for self addresses. On the very first day of sale, on the very first day of the sale, on the very first day of the issue, when a new stamp is issued at some post office in United States of America, in any city of the United States of America, and as soon as the information is conveyed, the information is received by the stamp collectors, all the stamp collectors go there, visit the same post office and buy the stamps, okay, from there, and they use the same stamps. They put the same stamps on the envelopes addressing to themselves on the very first day of the sale, and the postmark proves the date, and they also get the same envelopes. Fully, okay, testified, fully proved by the postmark of the post office. डाकघर की जो मोहर होती है, उस डाकघर की मोहर के अंदर डेट जो है ना वो मेंशन की होती है. तो डाकघर की मोहर लगते ही और डेट उस पर चिन्हित हो जाती है, डेट छप जाती है. तो उस डेट से, उस डाकघर की उस स्टैम्प से, उस मोहर से, उस सील से, और जो है ना उस एनवलप के ऊपर जिस लिफाफे पर वो टिकट चिपकाते हैं उसके ऊपर वो तारीख जो है ना उस तारीख की भी पुष्टि हो जाती है. द एनवेलप इज कॉल्ड ए फर्स्ट डे कवर. Such kind of envelope is known as is called a first day cover. The envelope on which the freshly issued stamp is pasted and the same envelope is addressed, okay, to the address of the addressee. पत्र भेजने वाले के पते पर ही उस एनवेलप को, उस पत्र को भेजा जाता है. They are never opened. The envelopes are never opened by the stamp collectors. You just put blank paper in the envelope, okay, and only a single blank paper is put inside the envelope. Nothing is written on that paper. That night among my oldest first day covers I found one. So during that night, now beta, again we have come to that, again we have got the same statement here which we had got in the last passage. That night, okay, on that night among my oldest first day covers I found one. So while searching for something in the collection of the stamps on that particular night hours, Charlie the narrator also found one first day cover there among those old ones. That shouldn't have been there. When Charlie found that the strange, amazing, okay, uncommon and strange looking envelope there among his oldest first day covers, so he thought that the envelope should not have been among his ones. that the envelope shouldn't have been among his ones. भाई ये जो लिफाफा है ये मेरे अपने लिफाफों के बीच में तो नहीं आना चाहिए था, ये कैसे आ गया? मेरा अपना लिफाफा तो नहीं है, मेरा अपना एनवेलोप तो नहीं है. बट देयर इट वॉज, बट ही वॉज फुली श्योर ऑफ इट because the envelope was already there. The envelope was already present there in the collection of his oldest first day covers. It was there because someone had mailed it to my grandfather. That the envelope was already available there. Okay, and he also expected so that somebody had already posted that the mail to his grandfather at his home in Glaceburg. When his grandfather used to live in that town, Glaceburg, Illinois, somebody had really posted that the envelope, mailed that the envelope to the address of his grandfather. Okay, and the envelope was received by his grandfather there in Glaceburg, Illinois. That is what the address on the envelope said, and it was all written on the envelope, and that the address also read it, that it was okay. It was addressed to his grandfather. It was addressed to his grandfather. वो पता जो उसने पढ़ा तो उस पते को पढ़ करके उसने देखा कि वो तो उसके दादाजी के नाम पर ही भेजा हुआ कोई पत्र था. And it had been there since July 18, 1894, and that the envelope had got its existence there among those oldest first day covers of the narrator since जुलाई 1894. वो कहता है कि 18 जुलाई 1894 से यह जो लिफाफा है, ये जो चिट्ठी है, जो पत्र है, यह बाकी के मेरे अपने फर्स्ट डे कवर्स वाले जो लिफाफे थे, एनवेलप्स थे, उनके बीच में पड़ा था. द पोस्ट मार्क शोड दैट येट आई डिडंट रिमेंबर इट एट ऑल, दो Charlie the narrator had also forgot it altogether, and he could not remember it whether such kind of envelope once had been received by his grandfather and he himself also there while living in Glaceburg. But the postmark also proved it that the envelope first day cover was posted on so and so date. The stamp was a 6 cent. The stamp means the ticket. The stamp which was pasted on that envelope also cost 6 cent, only 6 cent. जैसे 6 पैसे होते वैसे 6 cent. Dull brown, it was of white colored. If was of white colored stamp, the color of that stamp was dull brown with a picture of President Garfield, and on that stamp, on that ticket, there was the photo of the president, American president Garfield. Naturally, when the envelope came to granddad in the mail, it went right into his collection and stayed there. So later, Charlie the narrator considered it on his part that when the envelope was received by his grandfather, so he might have put the envelope with the other first day covers of his collection, and he had stayed there for such a long time till I took it out and opened it. So it was the first day. So after so many years, when the narrator opened the envelope and took out a letter from it, and he read the letter. The paper inside wasn't blank, it read. Inside the envelope there was no blank paper, and he read it. What was written here in that letter? It is written here. 941, it is the house number, Willard Street, Glaceburg, Illinois, July 18, 1894. Charlie. It was written by Sam, Charlie's friend. That's why the name Charlie is written here. I got to wishing that you were right, then I got to believing you were right. Firstly, the writer of that letter, Sam Wiener, wished so that his friend Charlie might be very happy at his place, and he also believed so that he might be doing all the works quite rightly. He might be doing all the works quite rightly. And Charlie, it is true, I found the third level. Oh, Sam, the psychiatric friend, Sam, the psychiatric friend of the narrator, mentioned it, that he had really seen the third level there at Grand Central Station. I have been here 2 weeks and right now. He also wrote it that he had already been there at the third level for 2 weeks, and he right now and now at that time he was living in Glensburg, Illinois. Down the street at the okay Delhi, someone is playing, and he was living in the town Glensburg, Illinois. Okay, down the street, Willard Street, at house number 941. At the there is someone is playing a piano. Where on that street, on that road, he also gets full pleasure, fun and pleasure when a child daily, okay, at the down the street at the Delhi. It is the name of a particular area, beta. Okay, it is the name of a particular locality. I am very sorry. Someone is playing a piano. Okay, Sam is really so much pleased while living there in the town Glensburg, Illinois, and he also says that he gets himself fully entertained when somebody is continuously playing a piano there, and they are all out on the front porch singing Nelly, sing Nelly home. So such kind of song is also sung by some people there on that street, and he really finds himself so much happy when he listens to such kind of song. And I am invited over for lemonade. I am invited over for lemonade. So now the narrator has also been invited. The narrator has also been invited for lemonade there. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. He also invited both Charlie and his wife Louisa to come there to Glensburg, Illinois, so that they could also start living there. Keep looking till you find the third level. And he also told that. But here the statement is here, and I am invited over for lemonade. Okay, so now we can take this the statement as for the narrator's friend Sam, because Sam could also tell us that through the statement that he was invited. But I think so it is through this statement the narrator is being invited by his friend Sam, okay, especially for lemonade, kind of juice, kind of liquid material drink which is prepared with sugar, with the mixture of sugar and the juice of lemon. Okay, lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. He also invited both Charlie and Louisa to pay their visit to Glensburg, Illinois, so that they could also start living there with him. Keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it, believe me. And finally, Sam also fostered some more confidence in their mind, saying that they must keep looking for the third level, and it was already there. Its existence was already there at Grand Central Station, and they must trust him. And they should not give up the idea of searching for or looking for the third level. The note is signed Sam. This the letter. The word not signed letter. This the letter is signed by his friend Sam. At the stamp and coin store I go to, I found out that at the stamp and coin store I go to, I found out that Sam bought $800. So when the narrator went to the stamp and coin storehouse, when the narrator paid his visit to such a departmental store where one could purchase the stamp and coin, get the money, get the dollars also exchanged there. So that was the coin dealer's shop. So when he went there, he found it out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency. Oh, when Charlie the narrator paid his visit to some coin dealer's shop, so he found it out that his friend Sam, a person named Sam, had also got $800 worth of old style currency. He had also got the new currency notes fully exchanged with the old currency notes, and he had got $800 from there. उसको बताया कि सैम नाम का कोई व्यक्ति यहाँ पर आया था और उसने $800 पुराने ज़माने की मुद्रा जो है, पुराने ज़माने के जो डॉलर्स हैं वो यहाँ से लेकर के गया, खरीद करके लेके गया। खरीदने का मतलब बदलवा के लेके गया। दैट ought to set him up in a nice little hay. Now the narrator gets badly shocked and worried to see it that his friend Sam would have surely started a new business, okay, investing such a huge amount of money in $800. That ought to set him up in a nice little hay, feed and grain business. Through this statement, the narrator hastily gets so much shocked and worried, and he wants to tell us that his friend Sam, okay, would surely have started a new business, okay, in the in a nice little hay. Hay stands for fodder, feed, and grain business. He would have definitely set up himself in such kind of a business, which could be very profitable for him, and he would have started, okay, investing such kind of हैवी मनी इन $800. वो कहता है कि $800 की बहुत बड़ी धनराशि खर्च करके, निवेश करके, और वह अच्छे ढंग से इस प्रकार का व्यापार शुरू कर सकता था. ही ऑलवेज सेड दैट्स व्हाट ही रियली विश्ड ही कुड डू. सिंस सैम ऑलवेज विश्ड सो दैट ही वांटेड टू डील इन सच काइंड ऑफ बिजनेस. वो इस प्रकार के व्यापार को करना चाहता है. इस प्रकार से जो हमेशा उसकी इच्छा रहती थी कि भाई जहाँ पर ये खाद्यान्न जो भंडार होते हैं, उस प्रकार के खाद्यान्न भंडार को वह खोलना चाहता था. इस प्रकार के व्यापार को करना चाहता था जहाँ पर बीज इत्यादि बेचे जाते हो, अनाज बेचा जाता हो, चारा बेचा जाता हो. इस प्रकार से वो दुकान करना चाहता था. एंड ही सर्टेनली कांट गो बैक टू हिज ओल्ड बिजनेस, बट नाउ ही इज फुली श्योर ऑफ इट दैट हिज फ्रेंड सैम कैन नेवर go to his old business, not in Galesburg, Illinois. He can never be able to start his old business, his choiced business in Galesburg, Illinois. Also, in 1894, it is not so easy for him to set up a new business there, as he has already invested such kind of heavy money in purchasing the tickets and going to Galesburg, Illinois. His old business. Oh, what will happen with his old business? Now he really gave a question to himself. Why Sam was my psychiatrist? Why? Let it be. Okay. Why stands for a no matter. No matter. Okay. Why? He ignored all the follies, he ignored all the mistakes, okay, caused by his friend Sam, and he again remembered his friend Sam with much love and affection, and he told that after all, Sam was his psychiatrist friend, and he loved him very much, and he also wished that he might live quite happily there in Leesburg, Illinois. Better now the chapter ends here, finishes here, completes here, sorry, and we would like to I would like to send you the solution to all the text questions, okay, and other exercise. Here are 7 questions, so we would like to select here only first 5 questions, I think so, no? First 5 or maybe first 4 questions are the most important questions based on examination. Thank you, bete. Now spare some time to go through this chapter personally, so that you can also be able to know each and everything very, okay, correctly and logically. Thank you.